last I'm gonna do because I'm like done. Look what you made me do. Once you write a fucking song about the Gospel of John, right? John, I don't know. John the Baptist might have been real. I don't know. Maybe it was like John the Baptist was actually the cult figure. And they were trying to get rid of John the Baptist. So they stole John the Baptist's story and made up this guy Jesus and kind of put it in there. There was this story about this guy named John the Baptist. And they're like, because you can tell it's a narration. The Gospel of John, like that was the first one. That's the first thing written. They wrote everything off the Gospel of John or the story. That story, right? The Gospel of John is actually like there because there's no disciples named, none of that stuff because they hadn't made it up yet. They didn't have it made. It sounds like the first chapter of John sounds like Morgan Freeman's narrated. There was this guy and this other guy, and it doesn't sound like somebody who was actually there. It sounds like somebody telling a story about somebody who was there. But then they changed it around, and they're like, "Oh, let's make it sound like this is John the disciple." And then they're like, "Oh, now we got to make up some disciples, right? Oh yeah, oh Jesus, oh yeah." But Jesus, like here, this is like I want to be your end game. I mean, because I couldn't take a shower today because apparently the fabric of the fucking universe, will unravel if I took a shower and it was out of turn. Anyway, the Gospel of John, Jesus goes, "You believed Moses and Moses wrote about me. And if Moses wrote about me and you believed him, you would believe Moses didn't write about you. Because the Torah wasn't, you can tell that's written by somebody who isn't Hebrew. Because the Torah wasn't written until like 400 years after Moses. There was no paper in the desert. God actually wrote the commandments into the stone for Moses. There was no paper. They were out there fucking pens and paper in the desert for 40 years, right? I don't think they had any when they left Egypt as slaves. Everything was spoken by word of mouth. Moses spoke about you. Jesus doesn't even know but he's the Christ and he's God, but he doesn't even know that. Yeah, Moses didn't write about you. Yeah, you would think God would know that. Yeah, like this is like I mean we're at game over. Well, I can keep on going, but game over there. There goes John right there. There's a bunch of other ways I can get rid of. There goes John.